At the heart of the bustling city, in the luxurious marble hall of an exclusive five-star hotel, the chandeliers glittered like galaxies suspended in mid-air, and the long table was set with golden cutlery, wine glasses that sparkled under the soft yellow light, and plates that had been polished to perfection. Yet what unfolded that evening was not simply a dinner. It was a clash of cultures, pride, humility, and fate itself. The event had been arranged by international investors, business tycoons, and politicians, all eager to impress a mysterious guest of honor, a Japanese millionaire woman who had built an empire from nothing, a woman whose name was whispered in boardrooms and printed in business magazines, but who rarely appeared in public. Her presence at the dinner was both an honor and a puzzle. For while the guests could admire her elegant silk kimono, her perfectly composed posture, and her eyes that seemed to hold the secrets of old traditions and modern ambition, they could not understand a single word she spoke. And as the conversations dragged on, with interpreters fumbling, executives stammering, and hosts forcing uncomfortable laughter, the tension grew like a silent storm brewing under the table. The woman tried repeatedly to communicate, her voice calm, yet increasingly edged with frustration, her Japanese flowing like music through the room. But to the others, it was nothing but incomprehensible sounds, and soon whispers of impatience filled the air as guests exchanged confused looks, some dismissing her as arrogant, others pretending to understand by nodding awkwardly, while the dinner, meant to be a celebration of unity, became a theater of awkwardness. Waiters glided across the room, balancing trays of delicacies, truffle risotto, seared scallops, roasted duck. But even the finest cuisine could not mask the embarrassment that thickened the air like smoke, until one particular waitress, a young woman dressed in a crisp white uniform, carrying herself quietly, almost invisibly, noticed the growing discomfort and felt her heart race. For though she had been trained to serve silently and disappear into the background, she could not ignore the humiliation of the guest nor the ignorance of the hosts. She, unlike everyone else, understood every word the Japanese woman spoke, because late at night, in her tiny rented room far from home, she had spent years studying the language from books, online videos, and conversations with exchange students, her dream once being to study abroad in Tokyo. A dream crushed by poverty, but kept alive through secret study sessions after endless shifts at the hotel. And now, as she set down a plate near the millionaire woman, she heard her softly murmur words of despair. "Why did I come here? They do not hear me, they do not see me," and the waitress felt an ache rise in her chest, a mixture of empathy and courage she had never dared to show. And in that moment, with the whole room distracted by their own confusion, she took a quiet breath and, breaking the invisible line that separated staff from guests, she whispered gently in flawless Japanese, "But please don't be discouraged. I understand you." And the effect was immediate, as if lightning had cracked across the silent night sky. The millionaire woman's eyes widened in shock, then softened with relief, her rigid composure trembling as she stared at the young waitress who stood before her, not as a servant but as a bridge, a lifeline. And in that instant the entire dinner table froze, forks pausing mid-air, wine glasses set down with trembling hands, every guest turning to witness what had just occurred. The millionaire spoke again, this time directly to the waitress, her tone shifting from frustration to curiosity, and the waitress responded fluently, translating her thoughts into English for the bewildered guests, who now watched in awe as the invisible girl they had ignored became the center of the evening, commanding the room not with money or power, but with knowledge, humility, and courage. And as the dialogue flowed, the atmosphere transformed from stiff silence to vibrant connection. The millionaire smiling for the first time, praising the young woman's determination, while the executives who once scoffed now leaned forward eagerly, desperate to recover their lost dignity. Yet through it all, the waitress never sought the spotlight. She only wanted to give the woman her voice back, though in doing so she was unknowingly rewriting her own destiny. And dear viewers, this is just the beginning of a story where a poor waitress and a millionaire woman's paths intertwine in ways neither expected. So if you're feeling the suspense, the emotion, and the inspiration of this unexpected encounter, make sure to subscribe to our channel right now, because what happens next will leave you speechless. And trust me, you don't want to miss Chapter 2. The moment the young waitress unlocked the silence of the dinner with her fluent Japanese was only the spark that ignited an extraordinary chain of events. For as the night continued, the millionaire Japanese woman, whose name was revealed to be Eiko Tanaka, a titan of the business world with investments across Asia and Europe, could not hide her fascination with the waitress who had dared to step forward when everyone else had failed. The guests watched in a mix of envy and admiration as the two conversed rapidly in Japanese, their words flowing like a secret melody no one else could fully grasp until translated. And for the first time in her long career of wealth and power, Eiko felt seen not by men in suits who chased her fortune, but by someone who understood her heart, her culture, and her unspoken loneliness, while the waitress, whose name was Clara, felt the weight of her world shift. For the woman she had admired from afar in magazines and online articles was now speaking to her directly, asking about her life, her dreams, her family, and every question Eiko asked seemed to pierce deeper into Clara's story. Reluctantly at first, Clara confessed that she had grown up poor, working double shifts to support her mother and younger brother, sacrificing her own ambitions to keep food on the table, yet secretly clinging to the dream of one day studying in Japan. And as she spoke, her voice trembled. Not from shame, but from the vulnerability of revealing her soul in front of strangers, and the entire dinner table, once filled with arrogance and pride, fell into humbled silence, as if the chandeliers themselves leaned in to listen. Eiko reached out and placed her hand gently on Clara's, a gesture that shocked the wealthy audience, for this powerful woman, known for her cold negotiations, was showing rare tenderness to a hotel waitress, and in that touch was the promise of change. Suddenly,